marketing this week. My name is Roger Gallegos. I'm the founder and CEO of Beacon Marketing. This week we're going to be talking about content marketing specifically. We're going to delve into some questions that you must ask and answer yourself before you can create a content marketing strategy. Now, this is important because, as you know, I believe that everything you do has to start with some sort of plan or some sort of strategy, and that includes your content creation. So you have to have these certain questions answered before you start creating any sort of content, or you're just going to be out there creating random, doing what I call random acts of marketing. You create random pieces of content, you publish it, and you're not getting the return that you want. And you know what? Trust me from experience, I know how that feels. It's frustrating. You feel like you're wasting your time. So what you really want to do is answer these questions, create a plan of action, and implement that action. And as you start getting results, or sometimes lack of results, you could update the plan, update the strategy as you go on, and you start seeing results, and you'll improve over time. So, but it all starts with answering these 5 questions. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first question you want to ask is, who is this content for? You have to answer it. That's the first thing. You want to address the kind of elephant in the room by saying, who am I doing this for? Who's my target audience? Who is this intended for? If you do not answer that, if you do not understand that, then your message is going to get lost, because then you're just like speaking into the wind. So you have to first define your target audience and say, this is who we are targeting. This is who we hope reads this and gets this messaging. Because once you define that, that will lead into the second question, which is, what problem are we solving? Because once you define who you are targeting, you have to then define how you are going to get their attention. And the best way to get someone's attention is to tell them, I have a solution to the problem that you're experiencing. I have a solution to the thing that's keeping you up at night. If you're able to do that for somebody, boom, you got their attention, and you are going to get them to be able to act on your content. You're going to be able to get them to act on your word, because you are speaking directly to them and you are addressing their needs. So first 2 questions is, who is this content for? And what problem am I solving? Next question is, you want to answer what makes us unique. Because once you have someone's attention and they start reading your material, you actually have to give them a reason to contact you, to go further, that further step, to stay with you. And so that is your UVP. What sets you apart, your unique value proposition. Because the worst thing you want to do is get someone's attention, bring to light their issue that they're solving, or that they need solving, and then have them be pushed to a competitor's solution. You want them to understand that, hey, not only can you solve my problem, but you could solve my problem in a way that nobody else can. And that has value to me. So I'm going to call you. I'm going to go into your place of business. I'm going to go to your website, whatever it might be. So you want to be able to, after you define your target audience, after you define what their biggest pain point is, make sure that you include somewhere why they should go to you, because that's how you're going to get them to come to you, and that's how you're going to get them to come back. Third is determine what channels you should put your content on. Okay, so let's say you have all this killer content. It actually doesn't matter if you don't put it on the channels where your audience is going to see it. You have to understand, where do they get the information? Is it LinkedIn? Is it more B2B stuff? Is it Facebook? Are they an older audience that uses Facebook? Are they a younger audience that's going to be more inclined to use something like Instagram or even Snapchat? Is it an audience like a more professional, kind of in-the-moment audience that might use something like Twitter? Whatever it might be, get a feel for your audience, understand where they get their information, and that is where you should put your content. Now, it may be over a few channels that you test and you try and you get a feel for it, but you have to first ask yourself this question and answer it before you can start the experimentation. Number 4 is what content formats do we want to focus on. So it could be video, written, audio, etc. What forms of content are you going to put out there? So as you develop your content, do you want to do more video content? Now this will largely be impacted by the channels that you publish on. So if you're going to be on Instagram, your content's going to be more visual. You're going to be doing more GIFs, image-based, stuff like this. You're going to be using YouTube, probably more longer form videos. If you're going to be on Facebook, that kind of opens it up. If you're just going to be sending people to your website for a blog, it's going to be written content. Whatever it is, it's going to kind of be impacted by two things. It's going to be impacted by who you're targeting and what channels you're going to be putting on. So put those things, factor those two things in, and then that's where you're going to put. That will impact or give you input on what forms of what format you're going to develop your content in. So, and here's a bonus one. I have an extra bonus. Is what is your plan for implementation? This is a huge thing because all those 5 questions, answer them won't matter much if you do not actually have a plan to actually put this in action. So after you do all these things, after you define who's this content for, what problem you're solving, what makes you unique, what marketing channels you're going to publish on, what forms of content you're going to develop, it won't matter if you don't have an actual plan to implement that. So you have to actually determine how you're going to create the content, how you're going to publish it, what steps you're going to do internally. Once you do that, you'll have a great experience. So a quick recap, I already did one, but I'm going to do another one real quick, is who's the content for, what problems are you solving, what makes you unique, what marketing channels are you going to publish on, what content formats are you going to focus on, and what's your plan for implementation. If you answer those 6 questions, you're going to have a great start to your content marketing strategy, and you're going to have a great start to putting content out there to attract your audience, to engage them, and to get them to take action. So as always, let me know what you think of this. Have you started a content marketing strategy? If so, where are you at? Are you caught up on any of these things? Let me know. I'll be happy to help. As you know, please share if you feel that this content can help somebody. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this audience, so let your friends know you subscribe. And I'll be back next week where we'll be talking about creating personas for your target audience. Really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a great video. My name's Roger Gallegos. This has been Beacon Marketing's Beacon 5 Things About Marketing this week. Talk to you next week. You guys have a good one.